Pikmin 2 was always that elusive GameCube title for me. I missed playing it in the era it came out, and even when it was re-released on the Wii, and I've played every other entry in the franchise, so finally getting to experience this interesting title when Nintendo re-released it on the Switch with Pikmin 1 Plus 2 was pretty fun. Pikmin 2 was the proper step between Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 3, in the sense that you were able to control two captains at the same time. So going back to controlling two felt very rigid in how you had to manage both Louie and Olimar. This isn't a bad thing. It makes the game stand apart from 1, 3, and 4. The thing I enjoyed most about finally playing Pikmin 2 was the difficulty. It felt like a real challenge to overcome the complex puzzles and situations you encountered. I've had to take multiple runs at various bosses and caves, which reminded me of games from this era that I miss. I remember having to spend a day sprouting Pikmin so that I could even complete a complex cave or to regroup after a terrible loss, which I had a bunch of those. And it brought me back to the spirit of the era that this game was from, because during this time, games were so hard to get. Once you got a game, you had to commit to it for like a year or so. Playing a game like this that was meant to be played for a year was pretty fun to play now, because I feel like games are so vapid now. You move from game to game, and it's just nice to have a game that was so complex in its like gameplay that you had to like really sit with it and like understand the systems. I also appreciated the cave system that was introduced in this game, but brought over to Pikmin 4, which is where I first experienced them. And I didn't know that the cave system was from Pikmin 2, so this was kind of cool. It kind of felt like a continuation of Pikmin 4 in a way. The caves gave the game a very Zelda vibe and had me really engrossed in the journey down to the bottom of the levels. Some of them were really cool the way they were done. Like there was one where you started in a tree and then you went to the top of the tree and then you fell out of the tree onto the ground and then you went down into the ground. I love the whole miniature feel of the game and how like the characters are so small compared to the rest of the world, which was a theme expanded on in Pikmin 4. I also realized that a lot of the cave layouts from this game were reused in Pikmin 4. I thought it was pretty clever that they brought them back for players who've grown up playing this game as like a little like nod to this game. I wouldn't call it lazy programming. I just thought it was interesting to have a different perspective on these maps. The purple and white Pikmin felt special because you only find them in caves. In order to keep them, you have to leave the caves without any of them dying before you can store them in your ship. It was refreshing to have to keep a stock of all the Pikmin you have and plan out what you were going to do with them, because they were more valuable to you in Pikmin 2. In many instances, I would bring like 1 or 2 white Pikmin just to get me through those fungus areas. The challenges in this game demand your full attention to every detail. The white Pikmin can sense things that are underground, so as long as you have a couple of them, they can start digging in a spot. And the purple Pikmin had the strength of 10 Pikmin, and when you throw them, they make a thud onto the ground, which causes like a little earthquake kind of effect, which you need later on to fight off those smaller like termite enemies. I thought it was cool that in the last area of the game, there's an object that you needed 1,000 Pikmin to move. So that means you had to find 100 purple Pikmin in the caves up to that point, which is a cool challenge. It feels like that would have been like an achievement or a trophy. The enemies in the game had to be dealt with in a specific way, or else your squad could be immediately wiped in a single blow. You had to know how to navigate your Pikmin through these challenges and these caves and these environments, or else you're just gonna get wiped, which happened to me, like I said, many times. But these setbacks were part of the fun. It was actually refreshing to go into a level and then just get curb stomped. I didn't have that problem in Pikmin 4. Most of the game was basically a cakewalk. So to go into Pikmin 2, it felt like a Dark Souls version of Pikmin 4. I also really enjoyed the story. I thought it was a fun contrast to the first game, whereas Olimar came back from pushing himself to the limit, trying to escape this planet and praying he could see his family again. He would then be ordered by his boss upon coming back to the planet to go back to the planet to collect trinkets and things so that the company can sell to get out of bankruptcy, because the company went bankrupt after the events of the first game, and his boss made him bring Louie with him. He was like a deadweight to Olimar. I'm glad I got to experience the story as an adult opposed to being a kid, because if I played this game as a kid, I wouldn't have been able to appreciate the jokes and commentary on like modern day consumerism, and also commentary on working for a company. The fact that the company is willing to put you back in harm's way for profit is hilarious, and I really enjoyed reading the messages at the end of every mission from all Olimar and his family and his boss. And some of them were really funny. I had to like take pictures and send them to people because the writing was really good. I also understand the character of Louis. I always thought he was like the dopey, dumb character that they were trying to pull off, but he's based on like the archetype of the coworker that doesn't pull his weight. And that's like a situation that I know a lot of people can relate with and come up against with if they have a job and they have to work with people that don't do their job as effectively as they could. Or you wonder, it's like, oh, why is this guy still hired? You know what I mean? It was funny to see that play out in a video game in like a funny way. So I understand the intent of the character's comedic value. While the first game established a Lost in Space vibe, I feel like this follow-up was a great addition to the series. I will say, I feel like this game would have been better if it were delayed and released onto the Wii instead of releasing onto the GameCube. It did sort of feel like a ROM hack of the first game, but Majora's Mask was considered one of the best Zelda games, and it's considered sort of a ROM hack or asset flip of the first game. All in all, it was a great time playing this game for the first time on the Nintendo Switch, and I look forward to replaying Pikmin 3, and I'm also trying to finish the challenge mode in this game. It kind of works as a portable game where they give you missions and you have to like complete certain objectives, and if you do that really quickly, you get like a gold ranking. So I look forward to going back into this game and getting all those gold rankings. Man, there were some really, really hard parts of this game, and there were some really hard dungeons to get through, but I enjoyed it because when I was in there, I was in, and I was like fully immersed, and the controls didn't bother me. I know they put motion controls in the game later on. I look forward to Pikmin 5. I appreciate you guys watching my videos and checking me out. I hope you had a good New Year's. I hope you had a good Christmas or whatever you celebrate. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe. And if not, then thank you for watching this far, and I hope you have a good day.